To start at the front of the grid in China ahead of Mercedes' George Russell. Lewis Hamilton will start fifth, but he did win the sprint race for Ferrari this morning. Last week's winner Lando Norris is in third. Tributes have been paid to the legendary two-time world heavyweight champion George Foreman, who's died at the age of 76. Former world champion Mike Tyson says Foreman's contribution to boxing and beyond will never be forgotten. In cricket, Heather Knight's been removed as captain of the women's England team. It comes after the heavy 16-0 defeat to Australia in the multi-format Ashes. And in golf, after round 2 of the Porsche Singapore Classic, the Isle of Wight's Brandon Robinson-Thompson is 6 under par, 5 shots off the lead. Speaking of cricket, by the way, at half-time in the Eastleigh game, we will hear from Giles White, Director of Cricket for Hampshire's men's team ahead of the new season, which is now under 2 weeks away. But let's head to our first commentary of the afternoon on Solent Sport. In the National League for non-league day, it's Eastleigh v Southend United on all radio frequencies, BBC Sounds and your smart speaker as well, with former Eastleigh defender Aaron Martin and Cliff Pledge, your commentator.
We are at the business end of the season, only 8 more games to go for Eastleigh FC in the National League campaign, unless of course they extend the season and make the playoffs. Only 4 more games scheduled here at the Silver Lake Stadium. This is the first one against Southend United, 2 teams both with playoff ambitions, 3 points outside of the promotion playoff zone, level on points. Southend have the superior goal difference, so Eastleigh know a win today would take them above Southend in the table. It would also take them for a few hours at least above Altrincham, who have a late kick-off against the leaders Barnet. So a positive result could help the league table immensely in terms of psychological positioning. Before we go through the 2 teams, let's bring in Aaron Martin, former Eastleigh defender, our summariser today. Aaron, it's on paper it's an exciting and even game. How do you think this one will go?
Yeah, I think you're exactly right. I think it will be exciting today. Hopefully both teams go at it instead of holding off a bit. It's obviously going to be a tight game. There's not a lot between the two at all. Although Southend have beaten them twice this season, hopefully Eastleigh will use that, and that'll be enough motivation to get them over the line.
Eastleigh, the underdogs, if you believe the bookmakers. I guess a draw would suit neither team, given that both are chasing a playoff position, so we should get some attacking football. Just on a psychological note, last Saturday, Aaron, they were 3-0 up at half-time and didn't win. It finished 3-3 at Wealdstone. To what extent will that play on their mind, or to what extent might that motivate them today?
There's obviously a bit of both in there. You're always going to be thinking, that can't happen again if Southend do go ahead, if Eastleigh do go ahead. But yeah, hopefully it doesn't play on their minds. Hopefully they've put that one to bed and they're moving on to this game, and it's full focus on this one.
Calvin Davis has made 3 changes from the team that started away at the Stones. We've got Joe McDonnell in goal, Richard Brinley at right back, Corey Panther is back in the starting 11. We think he'll be left back with Luis Fernandez and Ludwig Franchillet, the 2 central defenders. Noah Bhutan has played at left back. We think he's going to be pushed up to the left wing. We'll keep an eye on that one in a moment, of course, with Ben Close, Angel Warue and Jake Taylor in the middle. Warue and Taylor recalled to the team. Taylor's got the captain's armband, and up front Paul McCallum and Tyrese Shade. Shade is shading Macca in the leading goal scorer race. He's got 11 for the season. Paul McCallum has got 10 in all competitions. And the substitutes: goalkeeper Tommy Scott, defender Lee Hodson, midfielders Jason Menyo and Connor Underhill, forwards Joe Ryan, Scott Quigley, Chris Maguire. No place in the squad today for Luke Humphreys, who went off last Saturday. I think he must have picked up an injury. He's been a very reliable performer this season. And as we're getting ready for kick-off, Southend United have Nick Hayes in goal, Gus Scott Morris, the right back, who scores all their goals bizarrely. He's got 16 for the season from right back. Joe Gubbins is into the team at left back. Harry Taylor captains the team at the back with James Golding. And then in midfield, James Morton defensively, Keenan Appiah-Forson in there too, and Noor Hussein. And up front they've got Tom Hopper playing just in front of Leon Parillon and Macaulay Bonne. And their subs are Ansi Jacola, the goalkeeper, defender Ben Goodliff, midfielder Cav Miley, a former Eastleigh player, Jack Bridge, Oliver Coker, also midfielders, and forwards Josh Walker and Charlie Kendall. And we are underway at the Silver Lake Stadium with Southend United all in red kicking off and going from right to left towards the stadium scoreboard end, with Eastleigh all in blue going from left to right. And Shrimpers get it out to the right wing with Morton playing a ball. Cross comes into the near post, a flick header causes danger, and Brindley's got to volley that behind. That was real danger. Hopper was waiting to get on the end of that. Richard Brindley put it behind for a corner after just 20 seconds on the clock, Aaron. A bit dangerous there for Eastleigh.
Yeah, that was a really good start from Southend. A bit worrying for Eastleigh that was a really good chance so early on.
It was a really good cross as well, and the defensive intervention is exactly what Eastleigh needed. Corner to come in from the right hand side, not even a minute on the stadium scoreboard clock, and Southend off to a flying start. Good delivery as well. Oh, it's fallen in front of the keeper, and it's been turned in for a goal inside a minute. Disastrous start for Eastleigh. Tom Hopper has scored on 59 seconds. The first effort was kept out by Joe McDonnell, but the ball only fouled to Hopper a few yards out, and Southend have made the perfect start, and it's a disastrous one for the Spitfires. Eastleigh 0, Southend United 1. Wow, not what we wanted, Aaron Martin.
No, definitely not, but it's happened early on in the game, so there's still plenty of time to get back into it.
A really good delivery to win the corner from the right wing, a really good right wing corner that led to the goal. So Southend, a brilliant start for them. Eastleigh not dealing with those crosses.
Yeah, it was a really good start from Southend. The moment they kicked off, you could see that they want it more. Hopefully Eastleigh will grow into it and get a goal back.
Eastleigh now trying to settle themselves, heading it back to their goalkeeper Joe McDonnell. Ben Close heading it back to him. Ben Close has been in really good form since joining on loan from Doncaster. And then great noise from the away supporters, 700 at least travelling down from Southend today, or travelling across the country, and they've seen their team take an early lead here. Eastleigh actually don't concede many goals in the first half of games. That sort of record blown out of the window. Most of the goals, normally they get to half time at the Silver Lake without having let one in. They've let one in inside a minute, which is a lightning start for Southend and not the best start in any ways. Do you think, Aaron, that might be a hangover from the disappointment of last week?
Yeah, we were talking about it in the build-up. Kelvin was saying that he hopes that they aren't going to start off a bit deflated, and they obviously have, so hopefully they can pick themselves up and grow back into the game.
Leading by the goal from Tom Hopper, only his second goal of this season for Southend, in the right place at the right time. The Shrimpers were denied by the keeper. The ball foul back to Hopper, and that's why the away fans are in great voice. A January signing from Colchester, played 3 games for Leicester City earlier in his career with the opening goal. Now Southend building from the back. Shea puts the pressure on. They've moved it up into the middle. Parallon gets the better of Brindley and out to Hussein. He plays it with the outside of his boot down the left wing for Hopper to chase, who plays it into the penalty area, but Spitfires get that one away. And then Brindley tries to volley a pass forward towards the forwards, but it's cut out by Parallon. Is now with Gubbins. Golden playing it along the defence. Harry Taylor's the captain today, and he's getting Southend moving forward. Fernandez breaks the attack down with a good header up towards Tyrese Shade, who's got no support, and they win the ball back. This is Parallon going forward on a run for Southend. Might be a shooting chance. Instead he spreads it out to the right hand side. Scott Morris flicks it forward to Macaulay Bonne. Back to Scott Morris. Eastleigh forcing them away from goal and back into their own half, but no doubt which team has made the better start. 4.5 minutes in, Eastleigh behind for that first minute goal from Tom Hopper. Gubbins, not the best ball, intercepted by Warue, but can't find a teammate. Morton out to the right wing, where Scott Morris plays a 1-2, keeping the ball well Southend, but going back into their own half. It's now with James Golden. Into the middle, there's nobody marking Macaulay Bonne. He's got a bit of space to run forward. His pass to the right wing isn't that good, so Noah Boutan gets a chance to show what he can do for Eastleigh. Bursting down the left wing, over halfway now by the penalty area, into the middle, volleyed away by Golding. First time we've seen Eastleigh on an attack so far. They've won a throw-in on the halfway line. Already instructions coming from the Eastleigh bench. I think what would settle the nerves is Eastleigh having a couple of attacks and some chances to score.
Yeah, I think they need a little spell on it now. Southend have definitely been the better side so far. They look a lot more controlled, they look a lot calmer. Yeah, hopefully Eastleigh can have a bit of a spell, get on the ball and build their confidence up.
Goalkeepers cleared it for Eastleigh up into the other half. Golding's header. Well, he would have been offside if he went for that. Tom Hopper, he's let it go all the way through to Joe McDonnell. Been at the club 5 years now, the keeper, originally from Basingstoke, picked up from Notts County and has been very impressive in the most part in his Spitfires career. It's a long ball forward up towards McCallum, but it's the red shirts that get it away. Now they've turned and played it back to their goalkeeper, Nick Hayes. He has launched a really long, hopeful ball forward, and no-nonsense defending by Franchillet, who gets it away from Tom Hopper. He's got 7 goals this season, Aaron, Ludwig Franchillet. That's a lot more than he's got before for a centre-half. He seems to have the knack of coming up for the set-piece.
Yeah, he's a very big lad. He's done really well this year. He's, to get 7 goals as well, it's massive for him. So, yeah, hopefully he can continue that today.
Eastleigh have been good at set pieces when I've been here at the Silver Lake Stadium. It's also great last time to see Tyrese Shade do the backflip when he scored. I wonder if we'll get one today. At the moment, it's Southend who are doing all the running, and a really good ball from James Morton outside of his boot out to the right wing. Appiah Forson leaves it, swept towards the air. Franchillet heads it away from Eastleigh. Southend, Scott Morris plays it to Appiah Forson. That's a good ball into the area. There's a flick header towards goal, but it bounces kindly just in front of Joe McDonnell. And Southend again, a very good cross from the right wing, but this time the header didn't really get any power on it. And I think it was Hopper again heading it at Joe McDonnell. Eastleigh 0, Southend United 1, 8 minutes in the 8th minute here on BBC Radio Solent, here on non-league day. If we get other scores from the league, we'll let you know. If we get other scores from our other non-league clubs in the south, we will of course let you know. But at the moment, it's not easy to take your eyes off football as Southend attack. Gubbins played a good ball from left back down the left wing, and Fernandez putting it out of play for a throw. I mean, I guess you know from last season, Aaron, probably about 2/3 of the players out there. What have you made of sort of any of the new signings? Has anyone caught your eye? I mean, I suppose it's easy to say Tyrese Shade because he's got 11 goals.
Yeah, obviously Tyrese Shade, he's done brilliant this year. I've been impressed with him every time I've come to watch. But I think Humphreys has been massive this year as well. I think his defensive displays have really helped, and I think that's been a massive thing for Eastleigh this year. They've been definitely a lot better defensively, so yeah, those two have really stood out for me.
Southend did launch an attack. Eastleigh repealed it quite comfortably in the end. It's out to the right hand side to the Keenan Appiah Forson, who's burst past Warue. What can he do? Cuts it back. It's good play towards Macaulay Bonne, international for Zimbabwe. Wondered if he'd be on international duty and not selected today. We have got World Cup qualifiers taking place all around the world, but he obviously wasn't picked and is here. Noor Hussain is an international for Afghanistan, and he's played a really good ball out to the right wing. Eastleigh struggling to get it back at the moment. Boutan has been turned by Scott Morris, who's played it back to Appiah Forson, so to Morton rather. At the moment, Southend looking extremely good in possession, and Eastleigh just having to make sure it doesn't come to any danger. Now they spread it right in front of us to Gubbins on the halfway line. Back to James Golding. Everyone is in Eastleigh's half except the Southend goalkeeper, Gubbins. On the left-hand side of midfield, flicks it in towards Hopper, who's made a foul. Fouled Ben Close. It's a free kick to Eastleigh. 10 minutes gone, they're one behind. Ben Close has really impressed me in recent games. Actually, he's not really got into this game so far, but he's been very instrumental in midfield when he gets going. Is top 10 just success for Eastleigh, or will there be some disappointment if they don't finish in the top 7, Aaron?
Yeah, I think there will be disappointment. I think Kelvin and Danny Butterfield have come in and they've done a really good job. And yeah, I think the position that they're in now, I think if they weren't to make the playoffs, I think they would probably see it as a disappointment. But for those two, I think it's been a massive plus for them. It's their Calvin's first year as a manager, and I think he's done really well.
McCallum got a good touch just now with a header forward from a long ball up from McDonald, but he couldn't direct it towards Shade, and it's Southend who are 1-0 up, who've got the ball back, and Gubbins has got a bit of time to play it back, and they're passing it nicely around the defence at the moment as Eastleigh wait for where the next attack will come from. Nice through ball to Hussein. Spitfires get it back. Fernandez goes long. It's going to be... Oh, Shade almost got on the end of it, but it's the red shirts of Southend who get it away, with Gubbins and Golding working it well. Out to Gus Scott Morris, and it's a real story for him. He's number 2, he's the right back. He's clearly playing as a right back, but he's got 16 goals this season from right back, so he's by far and away their top scorer. I think he was the 3rd top scorer in the whole league last time I looked, from a right back, which is unusual. Offside flag goes up on an attack from Southend, so the Spitfires will get an indirect free kick. Hopefully we won't get to see why he's so good at scoring goals. I don't know if they're long range goals, but it's a bit unusual. We're praising Franchillet for getting 7 for set pieces, but 16 from a fullback is unheard of. Yeah, that's an unbelievable return. I don't know if that's a plus or a negative for Southend if you're right back scoring that many goals, but yeah, for him personally, that's an unbelievable achievement. Earlier today we had a game in the National League, which was Sutton United 1, Dagenham and Redbridge 1. Dagenham near the bottom, Sutton just behind Eastleigh in the table, Sutton getting a late equaliser. But all the talk of results helping Eastleigh out today elsewhere in the National League aren't really going to hold much weight if Eastleigh don't help themselves, and they are 1-0 down at home after an incredible start for Southend United, who scored within the first minute through Tom Hopper. Let's take a look at some of the other scores in this league. I know we say it doesn't really matter if Eastleigh don't get the points, but it's still, I'm sure there are fans that want to know how things are getting on in the division elsewhere. I wonder if this has been the only goal so far. Hartley pull a 1-up against Boston United, and those are the only goals so far from the 3 o'clock kickoffs in the Vanarama National League. Eastleigh go forward. Bhutan is a judge to have fouled Gus Scott Morris, and Eastleigh were briefly in Southend's penalty area, but a push from Bhutan is what the referees decided. Oliver Mackey is the man in the middle today. I think this is game number 6. This is his 7th game in the National League this season. He's done a couple in the Football League, in League 1 and League 2. Is shown 3 red cards from the 6 games he's had in the National League. So hopefully this is the game where he doesn't show one. As Southend launch an attack, offside flag goes up as Leon Parallon was just about ahead of the last Eastleigh defender. Leon Parallon used to go when he was on loan at Havant and Waterloo for a couple of spells as Leon Chambers, but now he's Leon Parallon, and looked quite a useful player when I saw him a few times for the Hawks. Quarter of an hour into the game, Southend still lead from that early chance. That's pretty much the only chance I think we've had from either team. It was taken by Southend what looked to me like 59 seconds on the scoreboard, and Southend fans in excellent voice here at the Silver Lake Stadium. Only 3 more games after this one for Eastleigh fans, Whether they are 6-pointers or not remains on how things go. It's a long ball up for Southend. Tom Hopper does one and takes it on his chest out to the right wing where the cross is blocked. It's going to be a throw to Southend. Yeah, after this game, we've got Halifax coming here in 2 Saturdays' time. Yeovil coming here on Bank Holiday Monday, Easter Monday I think that is, and then the last day of the season is another bank holiday, York City at home on the last day of the season, the 5th of May. Southend, one to the good, crossing it in from the right wing. That's a great cross and a great header away from Brindley. Has it gone out of play yet? No, it hasn't. Bhutan tries to shepherd it away, but Southend win the ball back. They're one to the good and they're in Eastleigh's half here. Gubbins plays it to Hussein in the centre circle. Out to the right wing. No, not in real any danger at the moment, I would say, but the ball, attempted through ball, is cut out by Corey Panther, who runs forward and is fouled, which is going to give Eastleigh a free kick at least just inside Southend's half. Ben Close takes it quickly into the area towards Tyrese Shea, cuts it back with a good cross, and it's nobody there. Had to be a good defensive header by Joe Gubbins away, out for a throw to Eastleigh, almost up by the corner flag away to our right, and it looks like McCallum's going to go and deliver a long throw into the area. Not a bad delivery there, Aaron.
No, it's a bit of quick thinking, and I think that's what they need at the moment. Southend have definitely dominated the game so far. Long throw here from McCallum though, and we know that Eastleigh have been good at set play, so let's see what happens.
Could be a chance for an equaliser here. Paul McCallum is going to take a long throw, aims it towards the near post, good header away. Fernandez though went in with his arm, went up past Franchillet, and Fernandez committed the foul on the defender that won the header for Southend, so a free kick to the visitors in their own penalty area. They still lead by 1-0. I know he's had some injuries, but McCallum hasn't scored a league goal since November. He's on 10 for the season. He's got a couple in the FA Trophy after Christmas, but it's good to see him back from injury and starting, and hopefully it's only a matter of time, Aaron, before he's back on the score sheet.
Yeah, it doesn't usually take him long when his body's feeling alright. Hopefully that will be the case now, and the moment he starts getting match fit, hopefully he'll start getting the goals again.
Weymouth are goalless at Chippenham Town, and Salisbury 0-0 at Truro City. Looks like Weymouth will get relegated this year out of the National League South, and Salisbury also in danger of that happening to them as well. Weymouth actually aren't in too bad form, but unfortunately for the new manager there, he's had too much to do really to try and retrieve that one. It's still mathematically possible, of course. Here comes Southend on another attack, swept away from Eastleigh. Dangerous gone for now. Shade plays it back to Panther, whose attempt to play the ball up towards McCallum up the left wing was misjudged a little bit. It's out of play for a throw to Southend. You were on duty earlier in the season, I think, for this very fixture in the FA Cup, where Southend caused a bit of heartbreak with a last-minute goal, and today they've come back and got a first-minute goal, so it's bizarre.
Yeah, that game was a tight game as well, so Southend are definitely dominating this one. Eastleigh just need to try and calm down a little bit, relax on the ball and have a little spell. They've still not had that yet, and they're pumping it up to Maka, and he's not quite getting hold of it yet, so they might need to start having a look at their game plan.
19 minutes in, a long throw's going to come in from the right wing from Southend United. Panther wins the header for Eastleigh, and then Warue wins the second one for Eastleigh, but it's the red shirts of Southend pick up on the loose ball. Scott Morris down the right wing he goes, can't get past Noah Bhutan, who defends well and lets it go out of play for a goal kick. He's on loan from AFC Bournemouth, caught him last season when he was on loan at Weymouth. And it's a goal kick which a defender takes and plays it back to the keeper. You don't see that every day. McDonald goes long out towards the left wing, but it's too easy for Scott Morris to bring that under control and launch another attack for the away side. Southend good value, I'd say, for the lead, with the goal earned back in the first minute of the game. Southend have won their last 4 games against Eastleigh. You have to go back 2 seasons for the last time Eastleigh beat the Shrimpers. They did the double over them 2 years ago, winning 3-1 at Roots Hall and then 2-1 at the Silver Lake, where Danny Whitehorse stole the show with a free kick and a goal from his own half. And that season, Aaron, I think you played in both games against Southend.
Yeah, I remember that one well. I can't not remember it, the amount Whitehall went on about that goal, but it was definitely a special one, so I'll give him the credit for it. It was some finish.
These days Danny plays for Stockport County, or Scunthorpe United, sorry, got my wrong the wrong team. Scunthorpe. Right, here is a kick from Nick Hayes, long ball down the right wing from the visiting keeper. Now what can we do? It's Jake Taylor picking the ball up, the Eastleigh captain. He's looking for support. Ben Close was to his right, gets the ball, but he couldn't get it forward. They're not really getting the ball in the middle to get the passes to the forward 2 at the moment.
No, it's all a bit slow. They look a bit sluggish at the moment, a bit deflated. So hopefully they can have a little spell, or they can get a chance, and that'll lift them.
Southend making all the noise as well at the moment. The last time I saw a home game here, I think it was the last home game against Hartlepool, over 3,000 were here, which was the biggest crowd of the season so far. Maybe hoping for more for non-league day, because Saints and the Cherries and Pompey are not playing at all. We wait to see what the attendance will be announced as. But here it's Southend of making all the noise and most of the run-in. We've got 9 teams that compete 2 leagues below this in the Southern League Premier this season. At the moment, Havant and Waterlooville are 1-0 up against Gloucester City in a promotion race. Gosport Borough are 1-0 down at Bracknell Town. And the leaders Merthyr, who Totton are trying to overhaul, they're losing 1-0 at home to Chertsey. So maybe Totton can take advantage of that if they get the points today at Hanwell Town. But at the moment, that game is still goalless. Leon Maloney scored Havant and Waterlooville's goal, by the way. They lead Gloucester 1-0. Here Southend are 1-0 up at the exact halfway point in the first half. I mean, it seems a long time ago now, Aaron, since there was a goal, but a quarter of the game has gone. And I think even if we take away that first minute goal, Southend are looking a bit more dangerous going forward than Eastleigh.
Yeah, they definitely are. They just look a lot more composed. They're playing the ball around really nicely. They're keeping the ball. They seem to have a lot of space out wide as well, which they are utilising quite well. So, yeah, hopefully Kelf will see that and start putting it together.
Voice of Aaron Martin, former Saints defender, Eastleigh defender, here on BBC Radio Solent. We've got 2 games for you today. This big game in the National League between Eastleigh and Southend, and then in the Women's Championship we've got Southampton against Portsmouth, a 5:30 kick-off. We're going to have maybe a slight delay here because James Golding needs a bit of treatment. I don't know if he got a blow to the face by the ball, I'm not sure. He's getting his nose blown by the physio as Paul McCallum waits with the ball to have a throw from this near touchline when the game can restart. I guess you can't have any circumstances where we've got any sort of blood or any liquid, so I'm not quite sure what happened. But there will be a delay before we can get the throw in. It gave Bhutan and Close a chance to go and get some instructions from the touchline from Messrs Davis and Butterfield. And the 4th officials, I think he's going to tell Golding this might take up a bit of time. In fact, he's not going to be allowed to come back on. Eastleigh will carry on with McCallum to take the long throw. Golding still gets treatment on the touchline. Play carries on. McCallum's long throw into the 6-yard box. First header is from Southend, getting it away. Ben Close picks it up, knocks it back to Warua. Angel Warua, long ball up towards Franchillette. He heads it up. Can he keep it in play? I think that's going to go out for a throw on the far side. The last touch was Gus Scott Morris. It's going to be a throw to Eastleigh, or up by the corner flag on the opposite side of the stadium here at the Silver Lake. And again, it's going to be Macca who's going to go and take the throw from the other side. Paul McCallum. And Golding is allowed to run back on and come back in defence for Southend United. Golding's on loan from Oxford United, for whom he's played 9 games for the first team, getting some experience here in the National League. McCallum with the throw for Eastleigh. It's a good long throw into the 6-yard box. Again, it was only the Southend players sort of in the most important areas heading it away. Bhutan tried to play it back in for McCallum and he's overhit it. Southend fans enjoying that, sailing harmlessly out of play for a goal kick to the visitors, who are still a goal up. I suppose if it's anything, the last game I did hear, Hartlepool looked well in control when they were 1-0 up, and then from nothing Shade scored a fantastic equaliser. Maybe we need a little bit of brilliance from either McCallum or Shade in attack. At the moment I don't really know if they're getting the service. They might have to try and make the magic themselves.
Yeah, that's definitely what this game's missing. I feel a bit sorry for them two up top, actually. The service hasn't been great into them at all, and it's not really given them an opportunity to get hold of the ball and get the team up the pitch. So hopefully they can identify that and start getting the ball into them with a better quality.
Southend have a throw up sort of parallel with the penalty area in Eastleigh's half, and they've got at least 5 players in the penalty area. If they go for a long throw to the near post, this seems likely. The throw finds Parallon. Good cross comes into the back post. It's just overhit. There were 2 defenders on the back post for Southend, but A, they were being marked, and B, they couldn't quite get on the end of it. Good cross comes in. Keeper's flapped at it. It's gone behind. They've given a goal kick rather than a corner. A let off there for Eastleigh, because that was a good delivery. The forward couldn't get on the end of it, and I thought McDonald may have touched that behind, but it is a goal kick.
Yeah, I think McDonald's got away with one there. Striker just got in front of him. It was a really good leap, and he's just put it wide.
A let off for the Spitfires, who find themselves a goal behind on non-league day in what we were building as a very important game in the promotion race for Eastleigh. Ball's loose in the middle. Now it's out on the left. It's all a bit scrappy, and Southend hook it forward. Franchelette's going to win the header, gets it back into the other half. And they've hooked it back towards their goalkeeper, Southend. This could give Eastleigh a chance. Shade's trying to race onto the loose ball. Good defended in the end from Golding. Under pressure from Tyrese Shade to head it into his keeper's arms. But a moment there when maybe the home fans thought something was on for a second or two. Southend a goal to the good here at the Silver Lake Stadium, and have in possession here. That's a really nice ball from Parallon to Hussein. Noor Hussein couldn't cross it in. Great block from Luis Fernandez. Fernandez, a summer signing from Hampton and Richmond. I think it's quite just like Ludwig. He's pretty good in the air, and he's put in a good tackle there. Joe Gubbins is going to take a throw for Southend. Up by the penalty area. Thrown into the area. Franchelette got a thigh on it, didn't quite clear it, but Southend committed a foul, so in the D it's going to be a free kick that Eastleigh are going to let their goalkeeper take. McCallum last season got the golden boot when you were still here playing. What was, when he's not injured, when he's in full flow, what's sort of the secret of his success?
Yeah, it's a difficult one to say, actually. He's just so good at arriving in the box at the right time. His movement and his timing is unbelievable, and he's got a good finish on him as well. So putting
Shade's
all those
cross
three together
into the area. Eastleigh on a rare attack. Shade's cross flicked out to the other side to Noah Bhutan. What can we do here? Switches it from one foot to the other, plays it towards Ben Close. Might get a chance. Still keeps hold of the ball. Can he cross it into the middle? There's players at the far post if he can. Back to Brindley. Brindley's cross is too close to the goalkeeper. Too easy for Nick Hayes. A shame that, because there were 4 blue shirts in the area, but Brindley, who's put in some good crosses this season, didn't quite get that one right.
Yeah, that's exactly what McCallum will be looking for as well. He gets so many goals with his head. He's always asking for crosses, so they just need to keep getting it wide and getting it in the box.
Did you play against him? What was it like to train against him? He seems to be a handful.
I actually never played against him, but I obviously trained against him and didn't give him much change. He didn't like training against me, but I've got a lot of experience on how to deal with players like that. But again, he's still so hard to deal with, and he's a super talent at this level.
He's one behind Tyrese Shade in the race to be top scorer for Eastleigh this season. I don't know if there's a competitive edge between the pair of them. Here comes Southend. This is a pretty good burst forward. Cross is going to come in. It's overhit and it's a complete waste. But again, Keenan Appiah-Forson and Gus Scott Morris looking dangerous for Southend. But Scott Morris overhit the cross. It's going to be a throw to Eastleigh in the right back position. Throw to Eastleigh, waiting really for their first chance this afternoon. We haven't really had too much to get excited about. I don't know if that's credit to Southend keeping them at bay or Eastleigh just missing something with the creativity. That's not the best ball forward from Ben Close, who against Hartlepool was in tremendous form but has been a little bit quiet today. Gubbins, long ball forward. It flags up here. I don't know if that's for an off-the-ball foul. I don't know what happened there, but he played a long ball forward from left back up to an attacking position, and Hussein doesn't know why it's been brought back. He's got the ball at his feet. No advantage was played there.
Yeah, I think McCallum just caught him a little bit late. I think he's got away with one there as well. I think the referee's just trying to have a little word with him.
Did see when we were praising him about a minute ago, he's getting very, very animated about something over on the far side. So maybe he is sort of in the mood today. I think he's just apologised to Gubbins as well, putting out his hand towards him. But I guess someone that sort of scored a goal every game last season, struggling to find goals at the moment, is sort of getting more and more hungrier for it. Long ball up from Southend by the keeper. It's going to fall to Warue, to Bhutan. Can he bring it out of defence? Well, he can't. He's just giving it to Gus Scott Morris, who's decided to go back to his keeper. All in grey is Nick Hayes. The other keeper's all in green, Joe McDonnell. He picked the ball out of the net in the first minute. He actually made a good save from point blank range, but the ball just fell straight to number 21, Tom Hopper, the centre forward for Southend, and that goal has been the difference between the sides, although in general Southend have looked more dangerous. Here on BBC Radio Solent, it is Eastleigh 0, Southend United 1. See if there have been any more goals in the National League. AFC Fylde are 1-up on Forest Green. Some crazy game at the Rec, because Aldershot Town are losing 3-2 at home to Ebbsfleet, the bottom team. 5 goals already there. Braintree lead York 1-0. Hartlepool are 2-1 up on Boston. Rochdale are 1-0 up at Maidenhead. That's not really good news for Eastleigh or Southend. Oldham lead Halifax 1-0, and Yeovil are 1-0 up at Solihull Moors. Really, it's Gateshead, Altrincham and Rochdale that Eastleigh want to drop points today, but at the moment it's Eastleigh dropping points as well. 1-0 down at home to Southend. You've got a free kick midway inside Eastleigh's half, and they've got everybody up except the keeper in that half, so looks like they're going strong to try and get a second goal here in the 34th minute of play. One arm up from the free kick taker, plays it short to Hussein, who's tried to flick it forward, nowhere near Macaulay Bomb. One from the training ground that went wrong, and can Eastleigh punish them? They've gone down the left wing. Shade tried to get there, pass back to the Southend keeper, a good clearance away. Franchulette wins a header. It's brought down by Hopper. Brindley ollies it away for Eastleigh. Shade touches it on to McCallum, who tried to nod it back to him. It didn't quite work out. And now it's Noor Hussein for Southend to Paranlon. James Morton. Comfortable in possession as they spread it from the left wing to the right in their own half. Taylor with one pass towards Scott Morris. Back to Taylor. The Eastleigh players not really getting the name checks at the moment as it's Southend on the ball. Macaulay Bond's got it down on the right hand side. Couldn't keep it in play. The Spitfires get a throw all the way back by their corner flag in their own half. Not too much entertainment, Aaron. It's there really. You'd love it if you're an away fan, but Eastleigh supporters haven't been entertained so far this afternoon.
No, definitely not. It's gone quite flat, the game has now. I think Southend are just trying to control the ball, and Eastleigh are doing the opposite at the moment. They're still looking for that spell, looking to keep the ball, but they can't quite knit it together at the moment.
Franchillet for Eastleigh in defence finds his fellow centre-back Fernandez. Back to Ludwig Franchillet. Key player for the past couple of years, hails from Guadeloupe, which I think is an Indian Ocean island. But long ball up to McCallum. There were 3 or 4 Southend defenders around him, and they've got it back to the keeper again. Taylor tries to charge down the goalkeeper, but they get it away. The Shrimpers in possession as Eastleigh try and chase it. Taylor. Ball forward to Hopper. Hussein leaves it as it goes out to this left wing with Joe Gubbins. They are pretty good value for being one up here. Golden gets it forward. Panther broke up the attack. Warue gets Noah Bhutan away. It's 3 against 4 for Eastleigh. Bhutan's decided to run it down the wing. He's got competition. Taylor's watching him. Maybe he can play it off him for a corner. That's exactly what he does. Corner for Eastleigh. Good play there from Noah Bhutan.
Yeah, he's done really well there. Hopefully they can get something from this.
First corner, I believe, and it's Ben Close who's going over to take it. First corner for the Spitfires at least. They've had the ball. They've had some opportunities to throw it in long from the flank, but this is the first time we've got the ball down for the corner, and we've got Fernandez, Franchillet, Brinley and McCallum all up there in the 6-yard box. Ben Close, former Portsmouth man, to deliver the corner here in the blue of Eastleigh. Closest corner to the near post. Oh, it's headed behind for a goal kick. It was Franchillet who got the last touch. I think it was from his shoulder. There was a defender right in front of him, but they didn't get the break there, and it sailed off his shoulder behind for a goal kick. Good delivery though.
Yeah, that was a really good ball in. All started from Burton, showing a bit of pace, showing a bit of energy to try and get up the pitch. I think that's what Eastleigh are lacking at the moment. Hopefully that's given them a little bit of a boost.
Sometimes you need someone to sort of take the game by the scruff of the neck.
Yeah, absolutely, and something like that, just running it down the line and getting a ball in or getting a corner can lift the team.
Long ball forward for Southend, who lead by goal to nil here, looking for their 3rd consecutive win at the Silver Lake after winning here last season and this season in the FA Cup as well. Referee's given Eastleigh a free kick just on the edge of their penalty area. But Southend, who won here a goal to nil last season. It was Arabin Peppel got the winning goal in the FA Cup tie, and but now he was on loan from the club from Luton Town. Now he's moved on, plays in the Football League, and Southend's reward for that late win at Eastleigh was a home game with Charlton, what Eastleigh missed out on, and it was 4-3 in extra time to Charlton, so it was a real absolute thriller. Bridge scored the only goal here last season. He's on the bench today for Southend, Jack Bridge. Fernandez volleys the ball out of play. Southend play it down the left flank, and we're getting 6 minutes towards the break. Still haven't really had a chance to tell you about for Eastleigh, who trail by a goal to nil. The closest we've come is that close corner just now, which hit the shoulder of Franchillet and just missed the target. Still waiting for them to produce a proper effort on goal, trailing to a first minute goal from Tom Hopper. Throw to Southend, away to our left in a dangerous position. Good throw into the area. Fernandez heads it away, and it's just going to be another throw that Joe Gubbins is going to take. Gubbins recalled into the team today. Signed in the summer from Queen's Park Rangers. Throws it in. Again, it's Fernandez with the header. Then Gubbins plays it off of Shade, and it's going to be a corner to Southend. Eastleigh a little bit unlucky there. Southend have got their second corner of the afternoon, which James Morton is going to take. Seen some good games here this season, comfortable wins over Rochdale and Aldershot, but at the moment not too much going for Eastleigh. Corner for Southend. James Morton takes it, floats it to the back post. Is anybody there? Headed down, keeper gathers it. It was over Fernandez. There was a good header down from Southend, but straight at Eastleigh's keeper, who tried to throw it half the length of the field up towards Shade. It didn't quite work out. It was a good idea, didn't quite work out, and the ball is, well, it's back with Southend, but they've passed it out of play. This gives Eastleigh an opportunity. Tyrese Shade to take the throw. Very impressive this season, joined in the summer from Swindon Town. Takes the 1-2 with the throw from Fernandez and goes into the middle with his left foot. Plays it out towards Panther. Corey Panther curls it up towards McCallum. Headed away though. First head was Southend. Loose ball's picked up by Tyrese Shade. He's in the centre at the moment. Far from goal, and then not a very good ball from him. He was trying to get it up towards Franchillet. It was easily picked off by Southend, who now break down the right hand side. This could be danger. Warue's got to do well because Macaulay Bond's got it out on the right flank. He's got no support at the moment. Support now arrives. Eastleigh have to be careful. Southend have got a lot of bodies up here. Played into the area. Brindley clears it, and he needed to. Who's got it now? In the middle it's Tyrese Shade. Out to the left hand side. Still playing. Tries to play Boutin in down the left wing. He might just get there. He might just not. Taylor shepherds it out of play. Good defending from Harry Taylor, the captain today for Southend, and it's a throw to Southend, who lead 1-0 with 3 minutes plus stoppages to go in this one. All the noise really being made by the away fans. Let's take a look in National League South, where we particularly looking for Weymouth score. Weymouth are at Chippenham Town, and it is still 0-0. And Salisbury are 1-0 down at Truro City. Salisbury went up in the playoff final last year by beating AFC Totton on penalties. They hope that they won't come straight back down, Brian Dutton's team. For Weymouth, it is looking a bit more bleak. They've got to virtually win every game to give themselves a chance, and they are 0-0 at Chippenham Town today. Eastleigh one behind. Fernandez tries to go long. It's going to be easy for Joe Gubbins, the central defender, who wins the header. Now Southend finds Appiah, finds Morton, finds Hopper, and now Hussein has got the ball. Parallel finds Morton. Oh, he's lost the ball. This could be that's really harsh. He's kind of slipped and passed it to Eastleigh, who then looked like they were going to burst away, three of them. The refs decided he was fouled, and that's a bit disappointing because that could have changed everything if Eastleigh were allowed to break there. I don't know if it was a foul, Aaron.
Yeah, I think he's got lucky there. He made a meal of it, and I think that's what's got him off the hook. But yeah, Eastleigh were unlucky there because they could have broke 3-on-1.
Well, we're getting close to the final minute of the half. It's a free kick to Southend, who lead by a goal to 0. Bonner plays it up into the area. It falls nicely for them. Eastleigh have to be careful. McCallum's back there defending, gets it away. Warue's trying to chase it. Appiah Forson got there first, and Southend get the ball back. I guess they're in no real danger. They don't have to press for a second goal before the break. They could just sit back for one at the moment. Eastleigh a world away from fashioning a chance to equalise. They're having to watch the ball as it's Southend to pass, keeping possession very well. up towards great touch off from great chest down from Hopper towards Hussein. Loose ball has been picked up by James Morton out to the right wing to Gus Scott Morris. He's not going to be able to cut inside, so go back to James Morton. The team's just going through the motions before. I don't know how many added minutes we're going to have. Can't be too many. Just one. There you are. Not too much incident in that half if it's just a minute, Aaron.
Yeah, I think that sums it up, this first half. Southend have definitely controlled it, but only giving 1 minute seems to be about right.
Here comes Southend looking for another. Leon Parallon is into Eastleigh's penalty area, cuts it back to the far post, headed down, headed in. It's 2-0, right on the break, and what a disaster for Eastleigh. It is that man Gus Scott Morris, his 17th goal of the season from right back. It was a good cross. There was an Eastleigh defender that didn't head it away, and an unmarked header down from Gus Scott Morris makes it Eastleigh 0, Southend United 2. And you can really hear the away fans in great voice now. They've come here, they've dominated that first half. They've scored in the first minute of it, and they've scored in the last minute of it, and they're going to have a 2-goal cushion at the break. Aaron, that's a really bad time to concede a goal.
Yeah, definitely. It was a really good bit of play from Southend. That's what both teams have sort of been lacking this first half, is just that extra little bit of quality in the final third, and when they've showed it, they've scored 2 goals. Eastleigh have definitely done the opposite so far. They've got no quality into the box or up to the 2 strikers, so hopefully that will change second half.
Maybe this will provoke a retaliation, a comeback from Eastleigh, because they haven't really offered much going forward, to be honest. At times they've dealt well with Southend's attacks, but obviously in the critical moments, the first minute and the 45th minute, there have been goals, and they're actually going forward looking for another one. Southend, I don't even think we've got enough time, but the referees let play go on. Jake Taylor puts it back to Corey Panther. I imagine we would see some changes at the break from Kelvin Davis.
Yeah, potentially.
It is the half-time whistle at the Silver Lake Stadium, and it has not been a good half for Eastleigh. You can hear the singing and drumming of the at least 700 Southend fans who've turned up today. Not too much to cheer about for Eastleigh FC, who conceded in the first minute. A good cross led to a corner. Tom Hopper, I think, had the first effort. McDonnell saved it. He had the second effort and put it in from a yard or 2 out. And they were probably the better team in between, but they scored the second goal in added time. And it was a terrific cross from the left-hand side and a good header from Gus Scott Morris at the far post. I thought there might have been an Eastleigh defender in between them that didn't sort of take the opportunity to head it out of play. I don't know if that's me being unfair, Aaron.
No, I think you've got it exactly right. I thought he was just about to get headed away, and then before we knew it, it was in the back of the net. So I think Kelv will be really disappointed with that second goal, as well as the first one. But the second one was a really good bit of play from Southend.
Now, 2 stats that hopefully give Eastleigh fans some hope. They haven't lost at all this season by more than 2 goals, and there hasn't been a home game in the National League where they haven't scored this season. So hopefully both of those records continue. Definitely the one about scoring goals, because we need Eastleigh to get back into this fixture. I'm expecting Kelvin Davis to make some changes here. We definitely need them. Southend looking the better team, leading by a first-minute goal from Tom Hopper and a goal in the final minute of the half from Gus Scott Morris. Aaron Martin and myself will be back for the second half live from the Silver Lake Stadium. We need an improvement for Eastleigh. At the interval, the half-time score is Eastleigh 0, Southend United 2.
This is BBC Radio Solent Sport.
Half-time in the first of our 2 live commentaries on this bumper Solent Sport for Saturday afternoon, non-league day, and we're in the National League for our first commentary at the Silver Lake Stadium. It's Eastleigh up against Southend United, and it's the Spitfires who have it all to do in the second half.
Here comes Southend looking for another. Leon Parallon is into Eastleigh's penalty area, cuts it back to the far post, headed down, headed in. It's 2-0. right on the break, and what a disaster for Eastleigh. It is that man Gus Scott Morris, his 17th goal of the season from right back.
Yeah, Eastleigh having it all to do in the second half if they're to come back in this one at the Silver Lake. And you just wonder, if they are to lose this game, how damaging would that be to their playoff push? Southend unbeaten in 8. Eastleigh haven't won in 3 heading into this one. We'll be back with second half commentary with Cliff Bledge and Aaron Martin very soon. Elsewhere in the world of sport today, Formula 1, it's the second race of the season, which takes place in Shanghai, China. Tomorrow, McLaren's Oscar Piastri is on pole position for the Grand Prix for the very first time. His teammate and last week's winner Lando Norris is in third. George Russell of Mercedes is alongside Piastri at the front of the grid, with Lewis Hamilton starting in 5th and Max Verstappen the champion in 4th. Tributes have been paid to the legendary 2-time world heavyweight champion George Foreman, who's died at the age of 76. Former world champion Mike Tyson says Foreman's contribution to boxing and beyond will never be forgotten. International football, Wales begin their World Cup qualifying campaign tonight in the group stages as they take on Kazakhstan in Cardiff. That's a 7:45 kickoff. Heather Knight has been removed as captain of the England women's cricket team. It comes after the heavy 16-0 defeat to Australia in the multi-format Ashes. And just finally in golf, after round 2 of the Porsche Singapore Classic, the Isle of Wight's Brandon Robinson-Thompson is 6 under par, 5 shots off the lead. Coming up at half-time, I'll run you through all the half-time scores elsewhere up and down the country and in our non-league games concerning our local sides. And we'll look ahead to our 5:30 kick-off in the Women's Championship, a tasty South Coast derby between Saints and Pompey here at St Mary's.
BBC Radio Solent Sport. The Hot Seats.
BBC Radio Solent.
This is where we question the people in charge.
From where you sit in your office, what do you see the crux of this problem being? Do you acknowledge there's a problem?
There is an issue, and I don't just sit in the office.
Health, politics, utility companies. Nothing is off limits.
Lots more messages that we've had through on Facebook, and they want to develop it with all sorts of things we don't need. What's your policy?
We've trained receptionist staff so they're able to sort of receive the call and direct the call in a timely way to the most appropriate professional.
Are you soft on shoplifters?
I'm going to be absolutely honest. Hampshire and the Isle of Wight Constabulary did not do as good a job as I would like them to have done.
Keep listening out for the next hot seat guest.
Jono Holmes.
BBC Radio Solent Sport.
Well, here I am at St Mary's ahead of the South Coast Derby in the Women's Championship, which kicks off at 5:30 between Southampton and Portsmouth. 1 place between them in the table. But heading into this game, there is a contrast in form, to say the least. Southampton having not won in 8 league games. Pompey coming into this after back-to-back wins. So we'll talk to Rob Seals, your match commentator for the 5:30 kickoff, in just a second. After I've run you through the half-time scores, it being the international break, there is still a full card in League 1 and League 2 this afternoon. So in League 1, it's Barnsley 0, Cambridge 1 at half-time. Crawley are 1 up on Bristol Rovers. It's goalless between Lincoln and Exeter. Blackpool are 1-0 up away at Northampton. It's 2-0 to Peterborough at home against Charlton this afternoon. And Wrexham continuing their great form at the top of the table. They are 1-0 up on Stockport County. League 2, it ended earlier goalless between Notts County and Crewe. It's also goalless between Wimbledon and Barrow. Bradford are 2-1 up at Valley Parade against Colchester this afternoon. It's 1-1 between Carlisle and Bromley. 1-0 MK Dons are winning away at Cheltenham. It's goalless in these games. Chesterfield v Harrogate, Fleetwood v Tranmere, Gillingham v Walsall, Grimsby v Newport, Port Vale v Morecambe, and Swindon Accrington. Not many goals there in League 2. Let's have a look at the non-league games for our local sides on non-league day, as we're bringing you commentary of Eastleigh 2-0 down at the Silver Lake at half-time against Southend in the National League. It's goalless in National League South. Weymouth away at Chippenham this afternoon. Terrace second from bottom, really needing the points if they're to mount a dramatic fight for survival at the end of the season. Southern League Premier South, it's goalless between Poole Town and Sholing. Havant and Waterlooville 4-0 up on Gloucester City at half-time at Wesley Park. Dorchester on the road at Marlow, they're winning 2-0. Contrasting fortunes for Gosport Borough, though, away at Bracknell. They're 2-0 down at half-time, and it's goalless in these games. Wimborne at home against Plymouth Parkway, AFC Totton at Hanwell, and Winchester City at Hungerford. That is goalless as well. In the Southern League Division 1 South, Bashley are at Malvern Town. It's 3-1 to Malvern there. Bashley not enjoying that first half, to say the least. And Shaftesbury 2-1 down at Mousehall at half-time. In the Isthmian South Central, it's 1-1 between Horndean and Southall. And Moneyfields are 1-1 at Sutton Common Rovers. So here we are at St Mary's. It's quite quiet at the moment ahead of the 5:30 game between Saints and Pompey Women. I think the gates are going to be opening to the stadium very soon, but I can see on the pitch at the moment a few Saints players getting a bit comfortable ahead of this big game, and no Pompey players out on the pitch yet, although I have seen a few emerge from the tunnel down below us. Wonder how they're feeling heading into this. Can they make it 3 wins in a row? It would be pretty incredible, and it would be the first time they've beaten Southampton since 2019 if they can do so as well. Let's bring in your match commentator for this one. Rob Seals is going to be alongside Saints midfielder Lucia Kendall and Pompey defender Yaz Younger. Rob, really looking forward to this. Amazing to be able to shine the spotlight on International Weekend on such a big game as well, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. It should be a really good, entertaining game this afternoon. And I mean, the last 2 times these two sides have met this season, Saints have come out overwhelmingly on top as well. I think over the 2 games, it's finished 9-0 on aggregate. Saints winning 5-0 and 4-0, both at Fratton Park at the back end of last year. And the overriding feeling coming into this one is it's certainly not going to be that one-sided, I don't think, this time around. Saints not in the greatest of forms, winless in their last 8 matches. The last game they actually won was that 4-0 victory against Portsmouth back in November, on the 24th of November last year. And yeah, Pompey and they're in good form at the moment. 2 huge wins under their belts in the recent weeks. They've climbed away from the relegation zone, albeit only 2 points clear of it still, but there is only one place with sort of 3 teams fighting for it now. And they'll be coming into this game full of confidence, looking to upset the apple cart at St Mary's. So I think it will be a much closer game than what we've seen in recent meetings.
Yeah, it does feel like this is the closest the 2 teams have been heading into a derby, and it's Pompey who need the points more, isn't it? But it's an old cliche, Rob, but the form goes out the window for a derby, doesn't it, really?
It does, yeah. The 2 teams, you don't need telling how big the game is, especially when it's 2 rivals like this. It's sort of egged in history. Both sets of players will be right up for this one, and the only message in the team talk will be go out and win, won't it? It won't be focus on this tactic, make sure this player stays quiet. It will just be go out there, do your job, win the game, get the bragging rights, and then get out of there.
Yeah, looking forward to picking the brains of Yaz Younger, Pompey defender, and Saints midfielder Lucia Kendall ahead of kick-off just after the Eastleigh game. And they're both injured at the moment, Rob, but that's to our benefit that we've got them in the commentary box with us this afternoon, isn't it?
Absolutely, it'll be great to pick their brains and sort of find out more about the way they operate, the way that their 2 sets of teams like to line up and play. And yeah, always good to get the player insights. I mean, both of those players are very, very key players in their respective teams. Yaz Young, a longest-serving Pompey player at the moment, a key feature of the back line alongside Reva Casley. Normally, she's unfortunately out with an ACL injury, and Lucia Kendall likes to pull the strings in midfield for Saints. She won't be in the starting lineup today. She'll be up here, of course, with us. So, should be good to get some fascinating insights from both of them, and it'll be great to have them alongside us in the commentary box.
Yeah, and it's 2 ACLs back-to-back for Yaz Younger, isn't it? She's had terrible luck with injury, so we'll ask her how she's getting on with the recuperation of that. Rob, for now, thank you very much. We'll be back with Rob shortly ahead of this one. 5:30 kickoff, as I say, Saints women v Pompey women in the Women's Championships. Should be a great game that we're going to bring you on Solent Sport. You can hear it on all radio frequencies, BBC Sounds and your smart speaker as well. Just ask it to play BBC Radio Solent and you'll get live commentary of Saints v Pompey, a little South Coast derby to bring you. It might be the international break, but we're still going full throttle here on Solent Sports, and we're building up now as well to the domestic cricket season. We're under 2 weeks away from the start of it now, and it'll be a slightly different red ball team to what we've been used to in recent seasons. For Hampshire, influential players James Vince and Mo Abbas won't feature anymore, but that means that exciting young quick bowlers John Turner and Sonny Baker have a chance to shine this season. So how Hampshire looking ahead of the new season then? Hampshire Men's Director of Cricket Giles White has been speaking to Kevin James this week.
We've been through the winter and the guys have all been in different places. Last week or so we've been back together and had a good trip to Sri Lanka. This week outside, the sun's shining, playing against Sussex, and then we've got a couple more pre-season games right into it. So Yorkshire in a couple of weeks' time.
10 days in Sri Lanka that you're just off the back of. I mean, that's not a bad destination, isn't it, to be looking forward to pre-season?
No, it's a good, it's a fantastic trip for everyone. It's quite a long way, and we found the heat, it's excessive heat actually. It's very humid, but great preparation for the guys. Played different conditions against some really good teams. The bowlers got some overs in their legs and the batters spent some time at the crease, and after that you come back to these conditions, and this is really where the preparation for the summer really begins, I sense, in terms of conditions. In our own conditions, good wickets, the ground staff have done a fantastic job. So these games that we've got coming up, we've got Middlesex next, we play against Gloucester and then go to Hove before that first game, and a really important time so that we get some more overs in the legs of the bowlers, a bit of rhythm, and also some batters in form over the next couple of weeks.
Hampshire Men's Director of Cricket Giles White speaking to Kevin James this week, under 2 weeks away now from the start of the new domestic cricket season. It comes round quickly, doesn't it? The players are back out on the pitch at the Silver Lake Stadium. National League, Eastleigh really have a mountain to climb in the second half if they're to pull it and turn it round against Southend. They're 2-0 down at the moment. This is on all radio frequencies, BBC Sounds and your smart speaker as well. Your commentary team, former Eastleigh defender Aaron Martin, alongside your commentator Cliff Pledge.
Thank you, Jono. Welcome back everybody to the Silver Lake Stadium. We've got a double change for Eastleigh. 2 forward players coming on, Chris Maguire and Scott Quigley, who's made way. Number 18 has departed, that's Angel Warue. And it looks like Paul McCallum has also left the field of play, so it's Quigley who will be on for Paul. And Chris Maguire on for Angel. So a double change. We were talking off mic at the break about what we would do, and we were saying Maguire and maybe Quigley as well, and I'm not surprised that the manager's acted.
No, I can see why he's made the changes. Eastleigh were lacking energy, and I think that's what Quigley will bring, and they were also lacking a bit of quality, and that's where Maguire comes into it. So I can see why he's made the changes, and let's hope that it's a positive outcome.
Eastleigh lost possession within a few seconds of the restart, to the delight of the away fans. So it's going to be a throw to Southend United, who are 2 goals to the good up at the break, and wonder what Kelvin Davis had to say to them at the break. He doesn't strike me as a manager that gets angry and throws the teacups. Aaron, what was your experience?
No, he's usually quite calm, but I think his reaction after the first half, I don't think he'll be as calm as usual. So I would expect a few strong words in there, but hopefully he'll get a reaction.
Southend now attacking towards their own supporters. Go through the 2 teams in a moment. We'll just let the set piece be taken by James Morton. They didn't feel the need to change anything at the break. 2 goals to the good, and staying above Eastleigh in the table. They'll stay above them unless Eastleigh turn this around and win the game, because they were level on points at the start of the day, with Southend having a better goal difference. But Eastleigh have done so well this season, and so well at home. We don't really want to turn this into a record, the biggest defeat of the season so far, which it may be on course for. Free kick early in the half for Southend United, which James Morton is going to deliver from this near flank. Nice delivery, but the keeper was always curling towards Joe McDonnell, who races to the edge of his own penalty area. Didn't release it though, because Tom Hopper was standing there in his way, so he's just rolled it out to Fernandez. So Eastleigh today of Joe McDonnell in goal, Richard Brindley, Corey Panter, Ludwig Franchulette and Louis Fernandez at the back. In the middle of the park, Jake Taylor, Ben Close, Noah Bhutan, and up front we've got Chris Maguire, Tyrese Shade and Scott Quigley. Remaining subs that can be used: Tommy Scott, Lee Hodson, Jay Semenyo, Joe Ryan, Connor Underhill. And Southend were 2 goals to the good. Nick Hayes in goal, Gus Scott Morris at right back, Joe Gubbins at left back, Harry Taylor and James Golding in the centre of defence, Noor Hussain, Keenan Appiah-Forson, James Morton in the middle, Leon Parallon and Macaulay Bond supporting Tom Hopper in attack. Their subs: Jacola, Bridge, Walker, Goodliff, Kendall, Coker and a certain Cav Miley who used to play for Eastleigh. Eastleigh lose out now. Southend looking for a third. James Morton out to the left wing. Taylor wins a free kick, which he'll look to try and take quickly from the wrong place though. James Golding just got a touch on him and decided rather than race on with the ball, he'd highlight the free kick. Wasn't allowed to take it from the wrong place. Eastleigh now on the ball with Ludwig Franchelet. Fernandez. Hussain tries to put the pressure on. Brindley up down the wing, flicked on. Shade has now gone out on the flank. Maguire chases down a back pass, but Nick Hayes does well to float it up back into the middle of the park. Taylor sticks out a boot at the loose ball, controlled on the thigh of Ben Close, who needs to get into the game a little bit more than the first. 1-2 with Maguire. Maguire plays the 1-2 with Taylor. Eastleigh still in possession. Now Maguire, that's a really good ball to Shade out on the right wing. We've got Quigley up as the centre forward. It's got Bhutan's in the penalty area as well. Can Shade manage to cross the ball in? Touches it back to Ben Close, edge of the area. Excellent pass. Can't quite find Quigley. Bhutan lets it go because I think it got a touch off a Southend defender. Throw to Eastleigh in a dangerous position. 4 minutes into the second half. They're 2 down, but they've got a throw away down the corner flag away to our left. It's going to be a long throw into the area for Shaw. Good long throw from Shade. Bit of confusion. Goalkeeper jumps and smothers on the ball. Past the blue shirts, past the red shirts. The keeper dived on it, Nick Hayes. Not just a change of players, a change of formation as well. We've got Shade out on the wing now.
Yeah, it looks like they've gone to 3 at the back as well, just to try and get a bit of control on the game. It's exactly what we were talking about in the first half. There was no quality going up to them, and they've started off by trying to keep the ball a bit more, which seems to be working much better.
Long ball forward for Southend. Well, no advantage from the left. They've won a free kick for a Panther fouling Macaulay Bond. That's twice today he's not played an advantage at the detriment of Southend. Keenan Appiah-Forson might have been able to get a cross in from the right wing, but it's brought back about 20 yards for a free kick to Southend. Morton's put the ball down. Referee sprays the 10 metres. A lot of bodies forward. A third goal might kill this game off. James Morton, former Birmingham player, signed 2 years ago from Weston-super-Mare. Morton's free kick into the area. Keeper punches it. It's loose. It could go anywhere. It was a good punch, but it was blocked within about a yard, and Eastleigh a bit lucky to survive that. But another opportunity for Southend. Macaulay Bond finds Gus Scott Morris. Taylor gets there and just thumps it away. You kind of sense that if there's another goal, it's going to be so crucial which way it goes. If Eastleigh get it, it's game on. If Southend get it, it might be game over.
Yeah, 2-0's always a horrible score going in at half-time, believe it or not. You're exactly right. Sort of whoever scores next is definitely going to have the upper hand, so hopefully it'll be Eastleigh.
Throw for Southend on the halfway line up towards the forward. Francelet got it away for now. Throw for Eastleigh. Hussain thought it was going, should have been his way, but it is the Spitfires who get it away. Thrown to Franchelet, long ball up towards the middle. Golding with the header gets it away. Hussain with the loose ball, going to play it nicely down this right hand side. Scott Morris touches it on to Macaulay Bond. Eastleigh forced them to go back. They're now back in their own half, Southend. Golding's ball forward goes all the way through to keeper McDonald. Rolls it out to Ludwig Franchelet. Well, first time of day here in Eastleigh in full voice, which is really good. Ben Close, living dangerously Eastleigh. Franchulette gets it back to his keeper. Wasn't the best pass from Close. Now Taylor towards Close. Can Close make up for that? Now he's going forward. Touches it to Chris Maguire a few yards to his left. Inside Southend's half. Floats the ball into the area. Wasn't the right ball for Quigley. It was a nice idea but didn't get it right. Out of play for a goal kick. Still 2-0 to Southend. Looking around the half-time scores, a couple of former Eastleigh players on target further down the non-league pyramid. Nigel Atton-Garner scored as Havant and Waterlooville 4-0 up at half-time against Gloucester City. A bit of a surprise scoreline, that one. Well done to the Hawks. And Brett Williams scoring for Bashley, but they are losing 3-1 at Malvern Town. You weren't tempted to keep playing, Aaron, at a lower level of football as a semi-pro? You decided that was that? You're hanging up the boots?
Yeah, it wasn't me that decided, it was my body. I played paddle tennis last weekend, and the way I felt after that was absolutely horrific. But yeah, I really struggled with my back in the last season. Well, I say the last few seasons, to be honest. So yeah, unfortunately my body just doesn't want to do it anymore.
Oh, fair enough. You go, retire at the top, bow out as a professional player and not sort of spend a few years sort of fighting the inevitable. Listen to your body. Tom Hopper went down in the penalty area. The fans for Southend made a big roar about 30 seconds ago. Didn't look like a penalty to me, and play just carried on quickly. But Southend in possession now with Noor Hussein out to the left-hand side. Oh, they've given it away. This could be a chance for Eastleigh to break. Complete gift towards Scott Quigley, who's breaking. He's got Shade, if he can deliver the right ball. Shade's in the air. It's a ball to Shade. Tapped it home! From close range into the bottom left-hand corner. A brilliant run from Scott Quigley. Presented with the ball from a misplaced pass. He went down the right wing and always knew where Tyrese Shade was. Good pass, good finish. Spitfires back in this one. Eastleigh 1, Southend United 2. Just what we needed, Aaron Martin.
Yeah, exactly that, and it was exactly what we were talking about as well. Quigley bringing that energy, and he's just run 3/4 of the pitch with the ball, and he provided that bit of quality, a good pass into Shade, and it was a really good finish.
And I wondered, as Shade was being marked, would he find the right pass? But boy, he did, and Shade just was in the right, sort of knew when to lose his marker, and just a nice side-footed finish into the bottom left-hand corner.
Yeah, exactly that, and it was the first time that Eastleigh have showed a bit of quality in front of goal as well, and they got the result that they wanted.
So Eastleigh do keep up that record, impressive record of scoring in every home league game this season. In fact, the only home game they haven't scored in was that FA Cup tie that Southend won here 1-0. So that's a brilliant record to keep going. Not many teams will go through a whole season scoring in every home game. There's 3 home games left, and so far they've done it every time. But will they turn this around, though? They're still losing, but that is a good way to start the half. Much improved attitude and a goal to show for it. And we were saying the next goal, whichever way it goes, could be crucial, although I don't count Southend out at all because they've been very impressive in this game as well. Could be some more goals at both ends. It sort of leads to a bit more exciting. Scott Morris will take this throw for Southend. Delivers a good cross into the area. Where's it going to fall? The keeper's just got it away somehow. It was brave keeping. It wasn't orthodox, and it was a little bit fortunate, but he got it away. And Southend knocking at the door there for an instant goal to put them back into a 2-goal lead. They 2-1 up here. But Joe McDonald's lived a little bit dangerously at times today's goal, but it's still only 2-1. Taylor passes it back to his keeper. It's got a bit of time. Puts his foot on the ball, then plays it up towards Quigley. Excellent nod down from Quigley to Brindley. Brilliant header. Finds Shade is out on this right wing. Takes his time and goes back into his half. Fernandez to Taylor. you kind of see Taylor and Close a lot more in this half. You can really see they're a lot more influential. We didn't see that in the first half.
Yeah, Kelvin's obviously said to them that they need to keep the ball much better than they have done, and they've certainly been knocking it around the back much better. They're being a lot braver with the ball as well, so that's definitely telling with them keeping the ball and getting a bit more quality up the pitch.
Well, this is kind of like the Taylor and Close that I know, and they didn't know where they were really in the first half. The second half, they're really being influential, and they're spreading the passes around well. They're wanting the they're wanting the ball, and their distribution so far has been really good.
Yeah, that's it. You can see that Kelvin's obviously told the defence to spread out a lot more. First half, they were all too close to each other. That's why they've not got the passes in that they've needed to, and now they've spread out. It gives Taylor and Close a lot more space in the middle of the park to get on the ball, and they're the two that you want getting on the ball as well.
Free kick to Eastleigh. Appiah Forson charged down Maguire, blocked the ball with his hand, not too much intent, but he did use his hand or his arm. It's a free kick to Eastleigh in the centre circle, and Ben Close is going to take this on. The game's got a completely different feel now, as Close has got everyone except his keeper in front of him to aim at with this free kick. He's taken from within the centre circle, floats it up towards Quigley. First head is for Southend, second one is for Southend, but they didn't clear it, and a bit of ping pong almost in the penalty area. They didn't clear it. Eastleigh almost took advantage. They've still got the ball now. It's with Shade, who's pretty much got free rein this half. He's sort of picking where he wants to play. He's out on the left now. He's on a bit of a dribble. What can he do there? Tries to get it through to Franchilet, who's up there, whose low shot is wide. Not often you see Ludwig up there from open play, but he came up to support Tyrese Shade, and Scott Quigley is urging those supporters behind the goal to make more noise. What a much better second half so far, Aaron, and a shooting opportunity there.
Yeah, it's been so much better, much more energy, better on the ball. They've got the ball up with quality as well, instead of just lumping it up there and hoping that Maka was going to get hold of it. Yeah, it's been a much better display, and they've got themselves back in the game.
And I like sort of what, I don't know if Kelvin's told Tyrese what to do, but he's pretty much picking if he's in the middle, in his own half, on the right flank, on the left flank, and at the moment he's looking very dangerous. Yeah,
I think Shade's one of those players that you need to give a bit of freedom to, and every time that he's had that, he's always produced something, so let's hope he can do it again today.
Fernandez nods it up towards Shade. He couldn't bring it under control, he couldn't lay it off to Quigley, and Southend for the first time in the game under the cosh a bit, and a bit of respite here as they come forward. Macaulay Bonne passes it straight to Chris Maguire, finds Taylor. It's a completely different half. Southend bossed the first half, deservedly 2-0 up. Eastleigh are bossing the second half at the moment and have got one goal back. Taylor, the captain of Eastleigh, up towards Chris Maguire, Scottish international, and towards Tyrese Shade, who's back in his own half at the moment. Fernandez finds Taylor, thinking of his options. Out towards Brindley, back to Fernandez. Franchilet, all Eastleigh at the moment, currently passing it around their own half, waiting for the option to go forward. Chris Maguire plays it, sweeps it out to his right to Fernandez. Fernandez was going long every time in the first half, is not doing that anymore, probably to the benefit of the team. Franchilet rolls it out to the number 19, Corey Panther, who's long ball to find Bhutan, didn't quite come off, and it's out of play for a throw to Southend. Kevin Mayers, the manager of Southend, 4 years in charge, a club legend as a player. He's actually got the freedom of the city of Southend on sea, and last year they would have made the playoffs were it not for a 10-point deduction for financial reasons. And we've got a break in play. There must be a player that needs a bit of treatment, so we've got a water break that both teams are taking advantage of. 61 minutes, almost 62 on the stadium scoreboard. Eastleigh back in this game, but 2-1 down at home to Southend. Didn't see if that's just a water break or if someone is injured, but it's an opportunity for the players to get a bit of hydration. And something that only came in fairly recently in football. I imagine for most of your career, Aaron, this sort of thing didn't happen, but it's a good thing that it does.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially with the amount of games that are played in this league. It's always difficult, and just to have a little couple of minute break is definitely beneficial for both teams.
Sensing the time to make a change. Southend suddenly not in control anymore, so they've made a double change. Cav Miley comes on, Jack Bridge comes on, and off goes Keenan Appiah-Forson, and off goes number 19 Leon Parallon. I thought Keenan Appiah-Forson had been a bit of a thorn in Eastleigh's side at times, but obviously the manager needs to change things up, and coming on two midfielders, Jack Bridge and Cav Miley. Eastleigh supporters will know very well. He plays for the Jersey representative side as Cav Miley, and he played 186 games for Eastleigh. Getting on target 8 times for the Spitfires. Coming off the bench now. Eastleigh. Fernandez out to the right wing. Shade is out there. Brindley's in support if he wants him. He's going to keep going on his own. Tyrese Shade. This is dangerous. It's a lovely cross into the area. It's a good header away by Harry Taylor. Only as far as Jake Taylor of Eastleigh. Out to the right wing. Brindley's cross comes in. Quickly flicks a header. It goes wide. That's a corner. It must have been the Southend player with the header, and it's a corner kick to Eastleigh, which Ben Close will go to take. 64 minutes gone. Eastleigh 1, Southend United 2. Eastleigh much better in this second half. It was quite a poor first half. They're on it this half. They've got 1 goal back, and you kind of sense that if any team's likely to get the next goal at the moment, it is an Eastleigh equaliser. So could it be now? Ben Close takes the corner for Eastleigh to the back post, headed away by Southend. Taylor for Eastleigh heads it back in, and then heading it back to his keeper. I don't think he meant to do that, but his keeper Nick Hayes caught the back header, dived on the ball, and will eat up a few seconds, and Southend still lead 2-1. There's such a different feel about the game, isn't there?
Yeah, Eastleigh have definitely been the better side this half as well.
Long ball from the keeper. It's high rather than long, actually. There's an opportunity on this near flank for Eastleigh to try and win it back. Southend play a ball up. Panther wins the header. Scott Morris gets it forward. Franchulette back to his keeper. Got to be careful. Hopper will keep the pressure on. But Joe McDonald plays it up to the middle. Goes through both Quigley and Morton. Southend get it back to their keeper. Play it long up to the middle. A little bit sloppy in the end. They go back. Hussein puts it back to his goalkeeper. Don't forget, we've got a second game live this afternoon. 5:30 we've got a kick-off. We'll probably start concentrating on that game from 5 p.m. It's in the Women's Championship, and it is a South Coast derby between Southampton and Portsmouth. Cross comes in for Southend. Oh, almost a cheeky goal. It was a back heel from Gus Scott Morris, but it went over the top in the end. But great technique, a very powerful back heel. But luckily for Eastleigh, it wasn't on target. But a nice moment in the game from Southend. Eastleigh pick up the loose ball. Brindley forward to Shade. Shade is going to win the throw there from Joe Gubbins. Launches the throw forward. Maguire brings it down. Great control in the penalty area. Can't quite get the pass to put it back to Quigley. Southend are relieved just to clear it into touch. It's a throw to Eastleigh, who have been much better in the second half. 66 minutes on the stadium scoreboard. Eastleigh have really got back into this game well. Throw taken to Brindley, to Taylor. Shade to chase it down the right wing. 3 blue shirts in the air if he can deliver the cross. To the back post towards Quigley. Can't get there. Headed behind for a corner. And we were just saying in the first half there was no service to the forwards. The second half it's been completely different. Service has been really good.
Yeah, it's been the complete opposite, and it all starts from the back. I think Kel's definitely got into them about being braver and keeping the ball, even making a one or two more passes just to move the ball about definitely gets Southend running a bit more.
Maguire gets it into the area, close played the corner short to Maguire. Eastleigh still trying to get it in there, Southend trying to get it away, nodded forward from Panther, tries to get Franchellette in there, nodded forward from Fernandez, and then a wild shot over from Corey Panther, and it's a goal kick to Southend. You can probably tell he doesn't try that very often, the defender, and volleyed it into the supporters behind the goal. I mean, from your journey with Eastleigh, you started out, you went from being a Conference South player with Eastleigh, joining Southampton. I mean, that's a great Roy of the Rovers story, and then you came back to Eastleigh to end your career, and in between I assume the club had really grown and grown.
Yeah, I always kept an eye on them. I know I always said that I would go back to Eastleigh towards the end of my career, and I'm really grateful that I did. We were really unlucky in our first season not to get in the playoffs. In the second season, yeah, for me it was personally just really tough because of my injuries with my back, and but yeah, I'll always be grateful for Eastleigh. They gave me my chance and helped me get my move to Southampton, and then yeah, the rest was history from there, really.
And the club sort of off the pitch growing and growing. It probably looked a bit different when you came back from when you were first here.
Yeah, absolutely. They spent a lot of money. The infrastructure's getting better. The league's getting better as well. The quality's much better now with the teams that are in it. But yeah, they're definitely on the right track to try and get themselves back into the Football League.
Not too far from here is AFC Stoneham. At half-time they were 1-1 at Portland United in the Wessex League. They're trying to chase down Portchester at the top. Portchester were 4-0 up at Brockenhurst at the break. Southend bursting forward, winning a free kick. There's a player down hurt. Don't know if that was, got a knock off the ball, but there's a player down that seems to be in a lot of pain. Oh, it's Hussein, and now he seems to be relatively okay. Maybe he's sort of thinking he should have got a decision. He was I was worried the way he was twitching there. It is a yellow card shown to Corey Panther, the first yellow card I think of the game, definitely the first one for Eastleigh. He must have been the player that knocked Hussein off his stride.
Yeah, he's actually been very clever there, because that could have been a lot worse than what it was. The striker had the run on him, and if the player on the ball saw that, Corey would have been in a lot of trouble. But yeah, he's tactically done quite well there.
The voice of a defender. Sometimes you take one for the team.
Sometimes you got to. He saw that it was going to be a problem, and yeah, he took one for the team.
Free kick to Southend. They've had their feathers ruffled a little bit. They're only 2-1 up now, and they're not having things all their own way. Morton played it to the edge of the area. I think it was Fernandez who got the header away. It's going to be a throw on the far side to be taken by Joe Gubbins. And Eastleigh making more noise than Southend at the moment, which is good to see. But here comes Southend down the left-hand side. This is an opportunity for Golding. Plays it back to Morton from the edge of the area, flicks it in. It's going to fall, and it's volleyed over the top. What a miss, and what a let off Macaulay Bonne there. Noor Hussein knocked it on to Macaulay Bonne, and the forward somehow put it over the top. I think he took it on the half volley, and that was a let off for Eastleigh. And there's going to be a yellow card for Ludwig Franchellette. I don't know if that was for something he said or a foul in the build-up, but a yellow for Ludwig and a let off for Eastleigh. I can't quite believe that Bonne put that over the top. Guess we're grateful that was a miss, Aaron.
Yeah, to be honest, I thought he was offside, but it must have been Brindley that was keeping him on. But yeah, massive chance for Southend.
That could have made a big difference. Panther clears the ball up towards Maguire. Good control. Still has the ball. Excellent ball down the line. Maybe it didn't stay in play, which is a shame, because it looked like it was getting Quigley on a run down the left wing. But it's going to be a throw to Southend United. Checking, and Rochdale are drawing one apiece. Gateshead and Halifax are losing. York and Forest Green are losing. The only teams in the top 9 that are winning are Southend and Oldham. So if Eastleigh can get an equaliser, there are teams above them dropping points. They'd really like a win, but at the moment they are still chasing this game. Live on BBC Radio Solent, Cliff Pledge and Aaron Martin telling the story of Eastleigh, and it's been a much better second half. Before the game we thought this would be an exciting game, an even game. Eastleigh didn't really turn up as an attacking force in that first half and can have few complaints to be losing at the break. This is a much better second half for Eastleigh. Chris Maguire's, is he fouled? I think it's gone out for a throw-in rather than a free kick, but Maguire juggling the ball on that touchline. Bhutan takes a short throw to Tyrese Shade. Shade thinking of his options, knocking it back to Corey Panther. Panther's surely going to play it down the left wing, and Maguire might pick up the loose ball, but Southend hammer that away. It's going to be a throw to Eastleigh. 17 minutes left on the scoreboard. I don't think we need to. Do you think Calvin would change anything else, or do you think this half has gone so well he doesn't need to?
No, if it were me, I'd probably keep it as it is for now. I'd give it another 5-10 minutes and see where they were at, but for now they're doing really well.
Throw from Panther up towards Bhutan. It's going to go all the way through and out of a play for a throw to Southend up by the corner flag. Let's take a look at I know we looked at the table just now, but let's take a look at the scores in the division. Filed a 2 up on Forest Green. Aldershot and Ebbsfleet is now 3-3. That seems a humdinger. Braintree still lead York 2-1. Tamworth are now 1 up at Gateshead. That's probably good news for Eastleigh. Hartlepool are now 3-1 up on Boston. Great that Rochdale have conceded an equaliser at Maidenhead. 1-1. Oldham still lead Halifax 1-0. And Yeovil are 3-0 up at Solihull Moors. All other games are goalless. Here it's 2-1 to Southend United over Eastleigh, but Eastleigh having a very good half, might get back into this one. In National League South, Weymouth are still 0-0 at Chippenham. They really need to win, and Salisbury are still 1-0 down at Truro City. They probably need something from that game, otherwise they'll start to be looking as relegation candidates along with Weymouth. Here it's 2-1, Eastleigh behind. Nick Hayes has the ball in his arms, the Southend keeper, and punts it downfield. It's going to be Franchulette that gets there first. Southend seem to be lining everyone up in the middle at the moment, working it out to the left hand side. This is a chance for Jack Bridge to go on a bit of a dribble, but Fernandez breaks up the attack, can't get it forward to Quigley. Haven't really seen too much of Cav Miley yet. He's over there on the far side with Bridge. Oh, Eastleigh win the ball back. This is 3 against 4. This is an opportunity. Quigley's going forward, edge of the box. His shot is blocked, falls back to Ben Close. Nice pass to Shade, leaves it back for Taylor. Shade again. Southend have got bodies back though. It's going to be difficult to breach that defence. Shade is thinking about the best way to do it. Passes it to Maguire. Out to Corey Panther. Crosses it in, headed away by Southend. Shot comes in. Oh, it's so close to an equaliser. Chris Maguire, can't believe it. Edge of the area, left foot volley, and it floated beautifully towards the top right hand corner, but it went wide of it, and it's a goal kick to Southend, and still they lead 2-1 here. So close there. That was a nice effort. Thought he was going to get that one in for a moment, Aaron Martin.
Yeah, so did I. He struck it so sweet, probably a bit too sweet. Yeah, inches wide.
That's why they brought him on, close to getting on the score sheet.
That's what he'll give you though, that he can get a goal out of anything. If there's any set pieces as well in and around the box, I'm sure he'll be the one taking it.
Josh Walker's coming on now for Southend. Macaulay Bonne is going off. Bonne guilty of a pretty bad miss that might have put this game safe for Southend. He's not wanting to go off. That's interesting, unless it was the wrong number show. That is very interesting, because he went over to Walker, turned around and went back again. Is that player power? He doesn't want to go off?
Not sure, you don't see that very often.
Now, free kick for Eastleigh. Close sweeps the ball up towards Quigley. Who's going to get on the end of it? Fernandez in the air with a back header. hammered away. Some shouts for a handball, didn't quite see that one. Southend clear their lines. Ben Close is the last defender, picking up the ball in his own half. Close sweeps the ball up towards Franchillet. It's Southend who headed away with Taylor. Back towards Eastleigh's Taylor. There's a Taylor on each team. Harry Taylor is 16 for Southend. Jake Taylor is 8 for Eastleigh. Into the area, nodded down into space. Franchillet slips up and it's a goal kick. Some people thought he was fouled. He slipped in the 6-yard box as the ball was played across to him. It is a goal kick to Southend, but Eastleigh are keeping the pressure on. They're knocking at the door. And that change is going to be made now, so Josh Walker on for Macaulay Bonne. Has Bonne decided to go off this time? I think he is. Very, very slowly. Not quite sure what happened there, whether he delayed coming off for a couple of minutes, didn't he?
Yeah, I think he's done that just so that he could defend the set piece, and now he's coming off.
So Walker comes on, number 11. Forward player Josh Walker, signed in the summer for Burton Albion. 12 minutes on the stadium scoreboard. Eastleigh deserve an equaliser maybe. They definitely need one in terms of their league position. Fernandez hammers it forward towards Shea. He's having his shirt pulled. Referee, he's not even given a free kick. That's a free kick and a yellow card.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know how he's got away with that one.
The defender for Southend there has had an almighty let-off. Half the crowd was angry with that, and I'm not quite sure how that has been unnoticed. But let-off for Southend, and Eastleigh denied a free kick. But then Southend overhit a pass, which is going to give Eastleigh a throw in a dangerous position. And I think it was going to be a throw for Eastleigh. Bhutan's going to leave that for Panther to take. Corey Panther thrown up towards Quigley in the area, brings it under control, can't keep hold of the ball though, and it's cleared down the other end. Bhutan is going to sprint to try and get there ahead of Walker, and he does. Good defending.
Yeah, he's done really well there.
Shown what he can do. Great burst of speed there. Still in shock that free kick wasn't given. We got 10 to the break, 10 to the full time rather. And they're going to probably not be in much rush to take this one. Gus Scott Morris had an incredible season, 16 goals before today. Scored his 17th with a header in the first half. 1-2 with the throw with Hussein. And Maguire gets there in between them and wins the throw. Going to leave it. Well, they're going to leave it for Panther to try and get this forward. Back to the keeper instead. Fernandez looking for someone to pass the ball to. Goes for Brindley on the right back position. Back to Fernandez. Back to the keeper McDonnell. 10 minutes to go. How many more chances can Eastleigh fashion? On top for this second half, got one goal back. Bhutan and Maguire try and chase down a high ball. It's bouncing around. Hussein actually gets it away in the end. At the other end, Franchillet and Hernandez work together and get it back to their keeper. Up to the middle of the park. Southend win it back. Hussein plays it to Gubbins, to Morton. Gubbins was the player that should have got a yellow card earlier, and we've got another change. Looks like it's Jason Menyo's going to come on, number 23 for Eastleigh. I haven't seen too much of him. I think he normally plays in the middle. Close, curls a ball down the right wing for Quigley to chase. Maguire's in the area if he can get a good cross in here. Quigley waits for the right moment for the cross, delivers the cross, flying header gets it away by Taylor. Eastleigh get another chance. Cross comes in, flying header away from Southend. They're bravely defending the lead that they have now. Free kick for the foul on Panther, and a chance to see Semenyo for the closing 8 minutes or so. Who's the player coming off? Number 2, Richard Brinley. Solid game for Brinley. Semenyo on. Jay Semenyo signed from Cardiff, where he played 2 games in the summer. Brother of Antoine, who plays for Ghana and AFC Bournemouth in the Premier League. You might have heard the attendance being given. I think he said 3,148. Eastleigh put a free kick into the area. Taylor charges it down, edge of the area for Shea. Too many bodies for a shot between him and the ball. Him and the goal, rather. Bhutan down the left wing. Low cross into the area. They do well to cut it out before Maguire could get on the end of it. Back with Shea. Shea puts the ball up towards Franchelet and Fernandez. It's a header. The last touch is from Southend. It's a throw for Eastleigh. 794 away fans is fantastic. 3,148. Just checking if that's the biggest crowd this season we've had here. I think it's similar to the one we had against Hartlepool. It's slightly less, but it's the second biggest crowd of the season. Throw comes in for Eastleigh. Header away to Taylor, who's volleyed it back across the face of goal and bounced wide of the target. Another chance for Eastleigh. Jake Taylor off target there, getting closer to an equaliser, running out of time. Aaron, I don't know how many other chances we'll get to commentate together, whether there'll be playoffs this year but it's been great working with you today. Just wanted to ask you, do you fancy being a coach or a manager in the future?
Yeah, absolutely. I've obviously got my own academy at the moment. I'm doing my A licence this year, which I'm really looking forward to, and yeah, I'm just building up my knowledge of coaching, and yeah, hopefully one day I'll get back into the game with that aspect.
Excellent. Good to hear. 5 minutes on the clock to go for Eastleigh. What a great second half. What a shame the first half was in such contrast. And in a bizarre way, this is the complete opposite of last week, where they were amazing in the first half against Wealdstone and not quite so good, shall we say politely, in the second half. This is a role reversal.
Yeah.
So as Eastleigh go on the attack, here comes Maguire. He's still on the ball, cuts it into Bhutan in the penalty area for Eastleigh. Back to Ben Close, leaves it for Taylor. No, cuts it to Shade. Will Shade have a shot from the edge of the area? He does. It takes a deflection. It hits the post. It hits the post. Still with Eastleigh. We'll leave in a moment to get some team news from our second game, but for a moment Eastleigh going forward. Oh, and Maguire puts the volley into the side netting. Wow, that was so close for the equaliser. They hit the post. We're breathless here. Let's go to St Mary's to get some team news with Rob for the South Coast Women's Derby.
Thank you, Cliff. Southampton against Portsmouth here in just under an hour's time. One change for each side. Rachel Rowe comes in for Saints for Vivian Leah, while Portsmouth bring in Emma Jones for Saints loanee Emma Thompson. It's 8th against 9th in the Women's Championship here at St Mary's at 5:30.
Thank you very much. Stay with us. We'll have a reaction from Eastleigh, and then we will be having the whole game live from St Mary's, and also on the, as you may have heard earlier in the show, AFC Bournemouth's women's team can win promotion tomorrow with a victory. They will be up into the third tier. In the second tier is where Saints and Pompey battle tonight. So close to the equaliser for Eastleigh. Southend on an attack now on the other side, but that almost was the moment for Eastleigh. Southend back in their own half now. Eastleigh fans urging their team long, hopeful but fruitless ball forward, which McCallum picks up. Shade was so close, hitting the post with 4 minutes to go. Unbelievable. Maguire flicks it forward. It's quickly onside. The flag goes up a little bit late, and disappointment there. But almost doesn't feel like a defeat in a way. It's been such a good half. Everybody that was on the pitch in the first place, particularly everybody who's come on as a sub, has really played a part today.
Yeah, absolutely. The two that have come on at half-time have made a massive impact. We said at half-time that that's what they were lacking, and Quigley gives you that energy, and Maguire brings you that quality, and they've definitely produced that today.
Another crowd over 3,000. They would have enjoyed this second half. What a shame it took Eastleigh so long to wake up. Of course, it's not over yet. We've got 3 minutes plus stoppages. Eastleigh probably deserve a point today based on how well they've done this half. Really terrible times for Eastleigh to concede at the first minute and the last minute of the first half. Now, it looked like I thought Semenyo was going to go on a run there. Good tackle coming in on him from Golding, but Semenyo's going to get a throw for Eastleigh. Running out of time. Southend look like they're going to get their third win over Eastleigh this season. The double in the league plus their FA Cup win here. They're back in possession. Eastleigh have got 2 minutes to get the ball back and get the ball down the other end. James Golding. Now they're on this near flank with Harry Taylor. Now Southend fans in full voices, I'm sure you can hear. Back to their keeper. Plays a long ball up, which Fernandez wins just ahead of the number 11, Josh Walker. Southend press forward, goes through to the keeper, Joe McDonnell of Eastleigh. Ball down in the centre circle up towards Quigley, being pushed in the back but still winning the header. Maguire can't control the loose ball. Southend have got 2 players in an offside position here, and Hussain knew that, so didn't pass it forward. Franchelet to Ben Close. Eastleigh got a minute plus stoppages. Maguire thinking of his options, and he's played a terrible pass to Southend, which could put them in with an opportunity here to get on the score sheet. Eastleigh shepherded away, but the attack broke up. Noor Hussain, ball towards their number 2, Morris, but cleared by Panther. Panther back in the team today, has put in a shift in the defence. We're in the final minute, and it is Southend in possession. They lead 2-1. Former Eastleigh player Cav Miley is on the ball. Over to Gubbins on the far side, gets it back. Southend close to a victory, the fans can sense that. Attacking down the left-hand side with Cav Miley towards Bridge. Jack Bridge loses his footing, Semenyo robs him of the ball. Up towards Close. Is there a last chance for Eastleigh to equalise? Close towards Maguire. Loses possession. Hussain, Maguire brings him down. Hussain rolls around. It's going to be a free kick. Not a yellow card, thankfully, but a free kick, which means it becomes much less likely. 5 added minutes. Both teams going to make changes as well. Hodgson coming on for Eastleigh. Hodgson is coming on for Ben Close. Thought Close had a very good second half. And the change for the visitors, 20 for 23, Ben Goodliff is coming on for James Morton. Oh, when the shrimps go marching, I haven't heard that one too often down the years, but very close to pulling off a treble this season over Eastleigh. But if it was unlucky in the FA Cup, I think they've deserved a point here today. They weren't at the races in the first half, they were very good in the second, and it's a shame if it seems they're going to lose this one. Southend go forward with a set piece, brought down by Scott Morris. Good delivery to the near post. Franchelet clears it. Panther kept it in play, which is a bit risky, but it turns out to be the right decision. Stopped it going out for a corner. Joe McDonnell doesn't know where to throw the ball though. Releases it to Fernandez. Fernandez up to Shade, who's sort of out on the right wing now, wins a throw. We've got 4 minutes to go. Eastleigh are losing 2-1 at home to Southend United. They've had a fantastic second half on the back of a poor first half. Will they find a way to get an equaliser in added time? Southend celebrating like they've got the game won. Can Eastleigh score the goal to silence them and get the home fans making the noise. At the moment, Eastleigh are passing it around their own half. They've got to wait for the right moment to play that through ball into the Southend half. Panther plays it up the wing. Bhutan isn't going to be able to get on that. That is not a particularly good ball, and it's easy stuff to deal with Nick Hayes, Southend United's manager, goalkeeper. What am I talking? Now he's gone down, wasting a bit of time, I think, throwing himself on the ball. The referee's having words with him. Can't really complain about the officials today. Some games we do. I don't think they've got too much wrong today.
No, I think they've been good. Apart from that one that Shade was going
in for the winning goal. He's put it wide of the post. It broke down the other end for Tom Hopper. The guy who scored in the first minute could have won it in the 93rd minute, but somehow he put it wide. A ball over the top bounced luckily to him, but fortunately for Eastleigh, he was off target. That was a glorious chance. And then a player carries on and puts it wide, so that's a yellow card for time wasting for the number 21, Tom Hopper. Hopper could have won the game there, Aaron.
Yeah, he's got to put that, and then he was one-on-one with McDonald, and he's dragged it wide, but he's got to finish that.
2 balls on the pitch. Southend fans now wasting time. Hopefully the ref will add something for that. Big wins for Havant and Waterlooville and Dorchester Town today. They're both 4-0 up in their games in the Southern League. Totton look like they're losing ground because Merthyr are winning and Totton are drawing in the title race. Really bad tackle coming in on Semenyo, not spotted. Semenyo's rolling around. Probably Eastleigh should want to play on here because we're running out of time. We've got about a minute and 20 seconds to go of added time. Eastleigh on the ball with Panther to Noah Bhutan on this left wing. Southend get the ball off of him and smash it out of play. Through Hopper, it's going to be a throw. Panther takes it for Hodson. That's a nice looking ball up towards Quigley, but the Reds get it away. Taylor's fighting to get it back. This could be a crucial moment. He's fouled surely. Ref doesn't give that or see that, so Southend attack down the left wing. 3 against 4 for Southend United. Can they deliver the killer blow? Hussein gets it back. He's out on the flank. We are in the last 40 seconds of the added time, unless we've got more to come. We did have substitutions and an injury in there. One last chance for Eastleigh maybe. The ball is hammered away by James Golding. Can the blue shirts get on the end of it? Hussein with an unorthodox ball is picked up by Cav Miley. Southend have got 10 seconds to run down the clock, I think. This is a Bridge running down the left wing. Semenyo's going to do well to try and get that off of him. No foul given. I thought Bridge thought he was fouled by Semenyo. Can Eastleigh do something now? Franchelette's up in a forward position. Backheels it to Quigley. Quigley's racing. 5 players for Eastleigh in Southend's half, but they're too far away from the goal at the moment. They've got to go long now, and even Calvin Davis is telling them, go long, you can't play pretty football now, the time is almost up. Surely one last chance for them.
He's got to get it forward.
Fernandez plays it forward, the red shirt's headed away. And then just slowing play down is Hussein. Very cool there, was a good header as well by Goodliff. Now they go long to the keeper. Time running out. McDonald pumps it forward. We are in the 6th added minute. Eastleigh have a throw on the far side. The whistle sounds at the Silver Lake Stadium, and it is a victory for Southend United in the National League promotion race by 2-1. The damage done in the first half, where they scored in the first minute through Tom Hopper and the 45th minute through Gus Scott Morris. Eastleigh were not at the races in the first half. They were fantastic in the second half, getting a goal back from Tyree Shade, who later hit the post. What a game of 2 halves football is. That's the cliche. Aaron Martin, it was literally that today.
Yeah, absolutely. If only they had started the way that they did in the second half, it would have been a completely different game. Really good performance in the second half, but the first half just let them down.
I guess Jono will check the table in a minute, but losing ground today with 7 games to go. They're going to still be 3 points adrift, maybe more. Is that the end of Eastleigh's promotion push in your book, Aaron?
Well, at the moment it looks like Rochdale are still drawing, so that's probably the only positive from today, but you just never know. They just need to keep performing like they did in the second half and keep trying to pick points up and see what happens.
Next Saturday they take the trip to the Midlands to take on Tamworth. You don't think they can afford any more defeats, maybe? Not too many points more to be dropped if they're going to make the playoffs. I still think a top 10 finish in Kelvin's first full season in charge would still be something special for Eastleigh, considering it's been a bit of a mixed season. We're going to hand back to the studio from the Silver Lake Stadium, where Southend fans are in full voice. Eastleigh were unlucky. The final score here in the National League was Eastleigh 1, Southend United 2.
This is BBC Radio Solent Sport.
Solent Sport for Saturday afternoon, coming up to 5 to 5. We're live from St Mary's ahead of our second live commentary, which is coming up at 5:30 in the Women's Championship. It's a South Coast derby. It's going to be a tasty one. Southampton taking on Portsmouth. We'll have our build up to that coming up shortly with your commentator Rob Sills and our summarisers as well. But on non-league day, we've been focusing very much on our non-league local sides so far this afternoon. In the National League, we brought you commentary of Eastleigh up against Southend United, and it wasn't to be today for the Spitfires.
Here comes Southend looking for another. Leon Parallon is into Eastleigh's penalty area, cuts it back to the far post, headed down, headed in. It's 2-0, right on the break, and what a disaster for Eastleigh. It is that man Gus Scott Morris, his 17th goal of the season from right back.
Could be a damaging one, that, for Eastleigh's playoff push. We'll get the thoughts of former Eastleigh defender Aaron Martin, who's been on commentary duty for us this afternoon very shortly. We'll run you through the other non-league scores and scores in Leagues 1 and Leagues 2 as well. Some big sports stories around this afternoon. Tributes have been paid to legendary two-time world heavyweight champion George Foreman, who's died at the age of 76. Former world champion Mike Tyson being one of those that's paid tribute. He says Foreman's contribution to boxing and beyond will never be forgotten. International football, Wales begin their World Cup qualifying campaign tonight in the group stages. They're taking on Kazakhstan in Cardiff. That's a 7:45 start. In cricket, Heaven Knight has been removed as captain of the England women's cricket team. It comes after the 16-0 defeat to Australia in the multi-format Ashes. And in golf, after round 2 of the Porsche Singapore Classic, the Isle of Wight's Brandon Robinson Thompson is 6 under par, 5 shots off the lead. So coming up, a rundown of the full-time scores up and down the country, and we'll build up to our 5:30 kick-off here at St Mary's between Saints and Pompey as well, all on the home of live sport across the south.
BBC Radio Solent Sport.
You can get involved, by the way, on the text this afternoon, which is 81333. Solent at the start of your message. WhatsApp is 08000 321 333. Again, Solent at the start of your message, or we're on X at Solent Sport. Maybe you're on your way to St Mary's here for the game in the Women's Championship. Let us know if you are. Maybe you've attended a non-league game for non-league day as well. Let's run you through some of the full-time League 1 scores from today. Barnsley 1, Cambridge United 1 was a full-time. Crawley 1, Bristol Rovers 0. And then a goalless between Lincoln and Exeter. Northampton 0, Blackpool 2 is a full-time result. A 3-0 win for Peterborough against Charlton this afternoon. Still playing in this one, 95 minutes on the clock between Wrexham and Stockport. Wrexham 1-0 up there. League 2, it was goalless earlier between Notts County and Crewe. AFC Wimbledon and Barrow playing out a 2-2 draw. Bradford 4, Colchester 1. Carlisle 2, Bromley 1. It's 1-0 still playing. MK Dons 1 up on Cheltenham at the moment. Chesterfield and Harrogate was goalless. Also goalless between Fleetwood and Tranmere, as was the case between Gillingham and Walsall. That was also goalless. Grimsby 1, Newport 0. Port Vale 1, Morecambe 0. And it was goalless between Swindon and Accrington Stanley this afternoon. Let's bring you up to date with our full-time non-league scores then. National League, we brought you commentary of Eastleigh 1, Southend 2. In the National League South, a damaging loss for Weymouth, who are second from bottom in the table. They lost 1-0 away at Chippenham this afternoon. Moving into the Southern League Premier South, Gosport Borough on the road at Bracknell. They lost 3-0 this afternoon. A great win though for Dorchester, 5-0 at home against Marlow this afternoon. Totton on the road at Hanwell lost 1-0. 4 first half goals for Havant and Waterlooville were enough to beat Gloucester City at home this afternoon. A great win for the Hawks. Winchester on the road at Hungerford picked up a vital 1-0 win in their quest for survival as well. Poole Town, what a win for them against Sholing. A 1-0 win for them this afternoon as they are battling relegation as well. And Wimborne picking up a 1-0 win at home against Plymouth Parkway as well. In the Southern League Division 1 South, Bashley falling to a 4-1 loss away at Malvern Town, as was the case for Shaftesbury, a 4-1 loss away at Mousehole today. And in the Isthmian South Central, sounds like an entertaining game between Southall and Horndean. Horndean coming out the victors with a 3-2 win, and Moneyfields winning 2-0 at Sutton Common Rovers as well. So mixed fortunes for our non-league sides up and down the south coast and around the area today. Let's go back to the Silver Lake Stadium, get a quick couple of thoughts from your Eastleigh summariser today, Aaron Martin, who's been watching on as Eastleigh slumped to a 2-1 loss at home against Southend United. Aaron, was that harsh on Eastleigh? Did they deserve to get something from the game, do you think?
Yeah, I definitely think they deserve to get something. The first half they started off really poorly, and that's obviously been the damaging factor. But second half they were much better, kept the ball much better. Quality going forward was a lot higher, and it was a good finish from Shade as well. But in honesty, it should have been a draw, but Southend did well to see it out.
Do you think Eastleigh just left themselves too much to do in the end, ultimately?
Yeah, I think so, especially after that first half. It was definitely an overhang of last week. You could see like they lacked energy, they lacked quality on the ball, they didn't keep it as well as Southend did, and Southend obviously came out and started really well. Second half made up for that, but they just couldn't find the finishing touch.
Yeah, and what about the playoff hopes now for Eastleigh? 7 games left, 53 points. Rochdale on 57. They're in the final playoff spot at the moment, but they've got 3 games in hand on the Spitfires. Southend opening the gap on Eastleigh again today as well by moving 3 points clear. Do you think that spells the end of the playoff hopes for Eastleigh, or do you still think there's an outside chance?
Yeah, I mean it's a bit of a blow. It's a lost opportunity today. It's going to be extremely tough for them now, but you just never know. Rochdale have still got to win all those games in hand, and you don't know how the other teams are going to do. So it's in Eastleigh's court. They just have to try and win every game now, which obviously is incredibly difficult, but if they want the best chance and the only chance, that's what they're probably going to have to do.
Do you still think, regardless of playoffs or not, do you still think it's been a decent season for Eastleigh? Calvin's first full season in charge? Yeah,
I think Calvin will be relatively pleased. He'll obviously be disappointed not to get in the playoffs if they don't reach it. There's still obviously the opportunity to, but for him, he's had a great season, especially for his first managerial season as well, and to hopefully finish top 10, I think he'll be really pleased with that.
And just finally, Aaron, before we let you go, what was the atmosphere and the attendance like at the Silver Lake Stadium? Did they get a few more through the door for non-league day?
Yeah, I think it was the side second highest attendance today. Southend were very good. The away fans were very loud, singing the whole way, and Eastleigh tried to match that as well. All in all, very good attendance, and for non-league day, it was a really good outset.
All right, Aaron, brilliant to have you there this afternoon. Thanks for being our Eastleigh summariser for Solent Sport, and I'm sure hopefully we'll catch up with you again soon. Aaron Martin, former Eastleigh, Southampton, Birmingham, Crystal Palace, Coventry, and a few others as well, making a lot of appearance in his professional career. Eastleigh